And that is your top story, as the defendant's former suite mate presented explosive testimony as a state's witness. Parris Purmort was the fourth witness of the day, but might have delivered the most damaging testimony overall, as prosecutors presented text messages exchanged between the two roommates from August 17th of 2023, just months before baby JD was found unresponsive in that dorm room.
After you responded and said you were up, Ms. Poague sent another message. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the message that's at the top of page 114 of that printout.
Yes, sir.
What does that message say?
It says, "Why do I feel anger towards JD? Like earlier when we were in bed and JD kept touching Jay's face, I almost cried."
Your response to that, which came, again, just a few seconds later, and this is at the bottom of page 113.
Okay.
Your response to that was what?
"What do you mean, like you feel anger towards JD, question mark?"
And then her reply to you a minute later, what was what?
Like, I don't know, not jealousy, but like I want to love him, but instead of loving, I just feel like angry, like want to punch him. LMFAO, OMG, that sounds so bad.
So let's talk more about this case and those text messages. What did you think of them? Share with us your thoughts on social media right now. Let me bring in our power panel. In the studio with me, what a treat to have Tommy Pope here. And joining us remotely, attorney Michael J. Brown and Dr. Sue Kornbluth. Good morning to you all. Morning. All right, so let's talk about this roommate. What did she do for the case for the state of Georgia? Tommy Pope, our former prosecutor, would you start us off, please?
Julie, I think really she confirmed what I'd been thinking. You know, so you've got a baby that's not yours. You've got a guy that you wish you had. And so I think when she looked at that child, she saw the other woman. And I think that's what this anger is transposed. I mean, how do you blame a child? I think she blames the child because the child's not her child. And so I think that's what this fleshes out. I think these communications show that. And I think that's why she's going to get convicted.
Oh, that's a good thought. Dr. Sue, let's go a step further. Tell me, psychologically, does that make some sense that she may harbor some resentment and take it out on the baby?
Yes, but I don't think that it's about another woman. I think it's about her being replaced by this child, and that she craves so much attention from this boyfriend because she probably did not get it from her parents or whomever didn't give it to her growing up. And she wants to be number one to somebody, and she's not. And so she's jealous of that connection between the two of them, and possibly wants to get rid of the baby so that she can have him all to herself.
Oh, Dr. Sue, you think she was plotting this? That's interesting. Let me play another clip. This is where the roommate's reading a message that the pageant queen sent to her boyfriend, little JD's dad.
"I've told you from the beginning that I would always try to love JD is the same as mine, but since me and you have gotten serious, every time I see him, I just get angry at the world, and I just have a gut feeling of anger. I don't know what it is. Maybe because I'm so young, and I know if I am committed to you, then I'm committed to him. You're 24 and I'm 18, and I know that the age difference isn't much, but you have a kid and you have more responsibilities than just spoiling me. I don't want to be your second baby mama. I wanted to be your first, but that won't ever happen, and I don't think that I can continue to be in a relationship with you and have that in the back of my mind."
Oh, she wants to be baby mama number one, but that is an impossibility. Michael J. Brown, this defense team had to have been cringing a little bit yesterday. Not a good day for the defense, but overall, how concerned should they be, Michael?
Good morning, everybody. I think they should be very concerned, Julie. That is a huge piece of evidence, very devastating for the defense. You know, the prosecution is pointing the finger at her, and she, the defense, is pointing the finger at the father. So there's really only two people that could be responsible for the death of this child. But those text messages and statements really just show the future of what is about to come. And those are really devastating text messages because it shows the intent, it shows the motive. You don't have to prove motive, as we know, but it goes a huge, long way for the jury to say, hey, she's one of two people that could have done this. And look at what she is saying immediately before the actual death of this child. Devastating evidence, Julie.
Great points, Michael. I have another clip here. This is regarding the issue of, this is so sad, the vomit that was on little JD's jacket and why it wasn't cleaned up. Let's take a listen to what Dad said.
So when you were getting in the car, when you were in the car, he threw up on you. Did anybody ask you to take the jacket so they could test to see if the child threw up on your jacket?
No.
If they had, would you have turned it over to them?
Yes, I still have it also.
Where is it?
At my house.
Has it ever been cleaned?
No.
Why?
Because that's the last thing I got to remember of.
It's just so devastating what's happened to this little baby. I feel like the baby didn't stand a chance. Tommy Pope, let's talk a little bit about that. So little baby JD is born, and if you're sitting at home right now wondering, oh, is it JD, is it Jackson, is it Romeo? Guess what? This baby had so many different names as he was passed around all over the place. Legal name Romeo Angeles. Mom had him, then goes off to Mexico. Dad's raising him. Dad thinks his name is Jackson. He's passing him off to his sister because he's working, and to Miss Congeniality as well, because he's busy working, trying to provide for the child and for his other family members, as I understand it. Tommy, for anybody looking at this thing, my gosh, like, what, if anything, could have been done to save that baby? It's angering, isn't it, when you see there were other adults in this baby's life, but it seems that nobody was there 100% of the time caring for him.
I think, Julie, that's the real reality of what we're dealing with in society now, and not just socioeconomically. Unfortunately, I went through a divorce at a younger age, and I always remember when he was talking about the baby getting sick, I wanted people to know I had a child, as I started trying to date again. And my wife, Kim, Logan got sick, and Kim cleaned it up. It was the opposite end of the spectrum, and I said, she's a keeper, from the beginning. So it's difficult. We have that. Back then, my sister helped with my 2-year-old, but I think it's a reflection. I will say, from hearing the dad, that he's kept that jacket in that condition. As Michael was saying, you're down to 2 people, and between the text messages and that, I don't think it points much toward him, and I think it lands in her lap again.
And you were an investigator, Tommy, too. So for anybody wondering, was this guy properly vetted? I think we can see that he was. It's just so sad. Dr. Sue, let me talk a little bit more about it. Let's get in the mind of Trinity Poague. I think that's what so many people are wondering. She looks so confident on the stage. We see her, yesterday we had Susan Constantine on, and we talked about how this woman is really exuding a lot of confidence and projecting something, and then the courtroom we see something very different. Tell me, do you think that was there an attention problem that maybe she has? I'm curious what you think of Trinity Poague, and if that was something that was at the forefront of her mind all the time.
I mean, I think, Julie, when you're in pageants, you are drawing attention to yourself, but you're also wearing a mask. And underneath that mask and all the makeup and all the glitz and the glamour is a lot of times a very insecure young woman. And I think that's what we have here. And she's a very, to me, insecure and immature young lady. I don't know what's at the surface, but I kind of feel like in my gut, she carries a lot of rage. I'm not sure what that rage is towards, but I believe that rage had built up inside of her, and it was taken out on this child. That is what I assume. That's my opinion about this. I don't know if that is true, but when you do have that much attention on you from a pageant or whatever it is, and then it's taken away, you crave it again more and more. And when it's not on you, you can become enraged. And I think that's what happened here. She became enraged in this situation as well. I'd love to go back into her history, her family history, and see what happened here and where she was given attention and where she wasn't. It's a big factor here, I believe.
Excellent analysis, Dr. Sue. Really, really insightful. Thank you so much.